How's it going, everyone? I'm hoping at this point you've seen the full animation. If not, I'll leave a link to my previous video in the description below with the full animation I was involved in. I'll also put a link in the top right corner. Like I said in my previous video, I wanted to go over behind the scenes for this animation. This is my first group project I helped make, so there was an interesting progression journey to how I got to the end result of the animation. Alright, back in 2011, I was part of a college class animation at Seneca College. Before we started the animation, we had to come up with a pitch. There were actually two classes that had to come up with their own pitch to make an animation. We just went by Class A and Class B. This is starting to sound like an anime plotline. The instructions for the pitch weren't quite clear to us. The other class had a bunch of pitch ideas and of course settled for one idea. My class, on the other hand, had only one pitch idea, because we thought whoever decided to be the writer was the only one that could come up with a pitch. That wasn't the case at all, so we settled on the only idea we had, which ended up being the Candy Bayou. There was a quick animated display of the idea that we had pitched.
Well, grandson, you're right. Let your old grandpappy tell you about the title. What? I'm talking about the Candy Bayou, the magical swamp where all the candy in the world is made. You've never heard of it? No, Grandpa, this is the first. Well, let me put you straight about the Candy Bayou. Fling, fling, shoot. This is it, the Candy Bayou, the place where all the candy in the world is made. It used to be located in New Orleans until Hurricane Katrina hit, and then it got blown next to the abandoned chemical factory and the sunken oil tanker.
I'll leave a link in the description below and in the top right corner if you want to check out the full video. If you watch it, you'll start to see where the similarities come in. Now that both classes have their ideas, it was time for everyone to be assigned to their roles. We each had to animate a scene, and some had more roles. I animated a few scenes. I also did some of the storyboards. I also did a voiceover scene. To animate, we were using the Adobe Flash program. Now it's called Animate CC. Let's start the animation, and I'll give my commentary on it. I didn't do any of the storyboards for this beginning part. I don't remember the reason for the awkward blink. I wish I had the original working progress of the clip of the old man pushing off the salads. Originally he pushed off the salads, and it was the slowest push you could ever see. The salads fell off the table like they forgot to look down, like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Grandpa, why don't you eat your vegetables?
Vegetables are for perverts. But like Jesus, Grandpa only eats candy.
I remember that line when making Christian jokes was still edgy at a time before the mainstream was unreasonably vilifying Christianity. We did have a few Christian animators that were fine with it. There was just one guy that was still against the joke, but it took him some convincing. Eventually, he came around. This was a painting reference to the old Ren and Stimpy shows that would use painting stills.
Now.
That's in the Candy Bayou.
No. The Candy Bayou. You mean to tell me you don't know about the Candy Bayou? The magical swamp where all the candy in the world is made? Well, let your old grandpappy tell you about the water bottle title.
I think here is when I started storyboarding my part.
Fudgy. This is it, the Candy Bayou. It's located in New Orleans, next to the abandoned chemical factory and the sunken oil tanker.
I think that shot turned out pretty good. The only problem, I would say, is the backgrounds change inconsistently. The close-up shots have more trees in the background, whereas the extreme long shot has a river pathway in the background. I noticed some of the river just goes into the trees. I don't know how that happened. I like the fast snapshot transition from shot to shot. That's what turned out really good. So originally during the production, the shots were moving really slow. Now maybe I wasn't clear in the storyboards, could have been my fault, but my god, that zoom out was originally unbelievably slow. Thankfully we fixed that. Aside from the inconsistent backgrounds, there were other noticeable problems. The light shine on the chemical around the tanker is clipping through the background, and the chemical oil inside the tanker is not blending with the chemical around the tanker. There's even a cutoff between the chemicals between the inside and outside of the tanker. The water shine, or waves, or whatever you want to call it, is clipping over the mainland. I'm curious as to how that happened. But we were students learning. That comes with the territory. Here we go. I animated these shots. The chemical flowing looks cheap. I guess I thought at the time tweening two images on top of each other would work. For those who don't know what tweening is, it's just moving an object from A to B and the program adds in-betweens. It can't do anything complicated, just adding in-betweens of the same object from A to B. The background keeps changing. I think I overdid the head turn.
What's that sound?
Did I animate that shot? I don't think I did. I think I'm getting the shot confused with storyboarding it.
It's just the sound of the worms chewing on your legs. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for the worms, originally the worms had an Alvin and the Chipmunks voice, but it wasn't working, so we went with this instead. I think this turned out better.
It's Rusty.
So's mine. This is a majestic coniferous tree.
You mean coniferous?
Nope. For generations, the sap from this tree has been harvested to make the sweet, sweet fillings of all your favorite chocolates.
But Mama told me to hate Holy! What the hell, Grandpa? Do you know that was gonna happen?
Oops! This isn't the mighty coniferous tree. It's the weeping widow. Let's scramble.
Okay. If you were confused with what just happened, think of those trees as originally supposed to be giant dicks. That was the original idea, and I think you can guess what was supposed to be squirting in the face.
It's just the sound of a fart coming from a heart. Yeah, yeah.
Isn't it amazing? Doesn't it make you feel young again? Doesn't it make you want to tick-tock-yo-tickly with a teenage tortoise?
I don't know what that is. And I'm still young.
My God! This is amazing! Look over there! It's the infamous one-beard deer!
I think it would have been funnier if they pushed the vomiting more aggressively. Everything just seems so calm. And then just have this push like...
It is, because it's covered in deer puke. First, the tainted cocoa must be mixed with the fresh chest milk from David the cow. Then, it goes to the yeast bunny for his magical touch. Then, all the
This shot I also animated.
pesticides.
A girl's gotta keep her chin moist.
And there it is! My award-winning start to fame voiceover scene.
Keep it fresh. So, you wanna try a bite?
Are you serious?
Do it or he dies!
I don't know why the kid has a hairy tongue.
Candy Bayou.
Okay, I remember this was a rough shot for the animators to work on.
Wrinkly place with a surprise inside. Candy Bayou. Candy Bayou.
Oh my
you, it's the most wondrous thing in the world.
I want to eat candy every night.
You want to go get some right now?
Fuck yeah! Candy, 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 candy!
Dinner's ready.
Without sweets in her life, she's nobody's wife. No, it's not right. I don't know, but it's not very no. Candy,
That's actually a good background.
oh, Candy Bayou. It's the toxic chocolate sugary gooey place with a surprise.
Barnabas was our animation instructor. I remember hearing afterwards there needed to be some last-minute changes and fixes to the music and some of the voices, so our instructor brought a friend of his in to do that stuff. So by the end, when everything was all finished and all done, both classes watched the other's animations. The funny thing is, I remember no one laughed at the other class's animation. They both laughed at their own. I can see why, laughing at the moments of your own hard work, but both did not laugh at the other animation. I wish I could find the other class's animation to do a comparison, but I only remember bits and pieces of it. I don't even remember the name of the other class's animation. I mean, it was so long ago I didn't work on it. Well, there you have it. I hope you all enjoyed the trip down my memory lane. I've got more videos in the works. They just take time. If you made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Click on the bell for notifications. Ding! I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.